Welcome to Churchill Downs in the 140th running of the Kentucky Derby. Next race is the undercard, the stable-to-table race. 5 sausages at once, not something I could say that I'm into, but here we are. And they're in the gates, and they're off, and Deutschland's most delicious son blitzkriegs out of the gate. The Polish sausage quickly erects a challenge and closes up and makes it a proper party up front. Hebrew National thrusts himself through the sausage wall. Is that kosher? And he'll bid them l'chaim as he goes by them. Down the backstretch they come. Conquidado Ricky Weeks as Chorizo nearly takes out the Brewers' second baseman. Hot Dog will say arrivederci to Guido as he waddles up the back-to-back. So Frankfurter crosses as a winner. The box scores us now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock here in sunny Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. Nice look back at the boys out there in Milwaukee for the sausage race. Everyone on their best behavior today as Senator John McCain paid you guys a visit in the man cave. The back row, of course, classed it up with ties. And the front row, well, just okay. Well, Fritzy, any nerves from a Booker standpoint when a person of this high profile is involved?
Not so much nerves, but just like anybody else, especially for an in-studio guest, you hope that they're going to show up on time. We were promoting Senator McCain. He was a late ad last week to join us in the New York City man cave, and it fell through. He got sick after doing a few other interviews earlier that morning. So, but he kept his word and said he'd come out, and he actually came to join us in the Milford, Connecticut studios. But I was a little concerned late last night into the morning that I was going to put on my phone and get some kind of cancellation notice, or his flight was delayed, or he just can't make it. But I got no word. Everything was quiet, and he showed up, and everything went very, very well.
Brock, I, on the other hand, was a little different. I called an impromptu BRG meeting. That's a backroom guy meeting. That's two-a-days, Alan and Nick. And we had a meeting to tighten everything up, make sure back door was closed, doors were locked, that the center would come up a certain entrance that doesn't have food all over it, and maybe the bathroom was respectable, things like that.
As if Landon Donovan were coming. Paulie, you were looking dapper. Why did the Senator's appearance prompt you to head over to the Walmart and get those fine-looking shoes?
Thanks, Brock. I appreciate your compliment. I did look dapper today. Yeah, it was debut day for these shoes. Kind of a combo, proper decor for a Senator/Kentucky Derby weekend situation.
Very nice. Mr. McCain eventually arrived. He shook hands with all of you. Fritzy, were you thinking of maybe giving him a pound instead of a handshake and maybe an air kiss?
Well, at least an air kiss. I was hoping to, get a hug from the senator. I didn't get that vibe, and I don't know if he's the hugging type. I had never met the man before. I wanted to be respectful, but if I had my druthers, I would have given him a nice big bear hug. I was really excited. I'm sure I could speak for all of us. There was something really exciting about seeing Senator McCain walk into our studios here. He came a long way and kept his word just to be with us and to come on with Dan. I thought that was pretty fantastic.
Well, he has an amazing story, and it didn't take long for the conversation to get heavy. The senator sat down and told us the story of his days as a prisoner of war.
If you're communicating through the wall, like I did with the same guy for about a year, it's like the old telegraph operators. You can tap to each other almost as fast as you can talk. And what was a big subject? Sports. The guy next to me, his favorite athlete was Stan Musial. He worshipped. Ted Williams was mine. And we would go back and forth. And sports was a huge thing. And when we were... There was a bombing pause for a while. We didn't get any new prisoners, and then there was a resumed it, and new prisoners came. First thing we wanted to know was who won the Super Bowl,
I was completely fascinated by that. I mean, we've all got stories about things in our youth. None of us have things like that. And to talk about that sports angle of his captivity, if you showed me, and my mouth was actually hanging open. Yeah. The other thing, though, moments earlier, I walked the center into the room to sit down next to Dan, and we were already back in the segment, so we're live on TV. There was no chair there where he was sitting, and I had a moment of inner panic, and I was like, where's the chair? And now, part of the job of the BRGs is to get the chair there, and they did have it just behind the bar area, Brock, but when I walked in, I couldn't see, and I didn't know for sure it was back there. So in my mind, for that 5 seconds, like, if that chair is not back there, and the senator has to stand for like 30 seconds while we scramble to get a chair, as funny as that would be, because that's kind of what we do here, I was like, oh, come on.
Come on, two-a-days. Get your head in the game. The topic went from serious and heavy to Dan dropping this line to the senator, and by Seaton's reaction, I'm pretty sure this was awkward.
You're going to see something in this next segment you haven't been exposed to, and you've been exposed to an awful lot, Senator. It's called Flinch ball. I'm going to let you see the Danettes play Flinch ball.
All right.
All right, you ready? See the T-shirt behind you, Senator?
Yeah.
Right there it says Flinch ball?
Yep.
Yep. That's what's going to happen coming up this next segment.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, it was sort of a fun bit we had leading up to this. Like, hey, maybe we'll get the senator to play flinch ball, huh? But to me, there was sort of always this like unwritten or like just understanding that, you know, we're not actually doing any form of flinch ball here because that's probably, you know, super embarrassing for all of us and frankly just kind of horrifying to have the senator witness that. And then Dan just threw it out there, and I was like, oh, crap, dude, are we really going to do this right now? This is bad news.
Brock, during that commercial break, I walked in, and Dan's in the middle of a chat, a personal chat with the senator, and I go to Dan, I kind of turn my head like this, like, flinch ball? Yeah. And he looked at me, I go, I gave him like a no wave off, and usually if you give Dan a wave off, he'll understand that you have a reason for it, and he kind of let it go. But Dan actually pulled me aside afterwards. Actually, we're talking afterwards. He goes, no flinch ball? I'm like, you know what? All four of us on this side were like, eh. And if all four of us are in unison on something, I'm probably going to go with the group and stay with it. Could it have been amazing? Could it have been legendary? Yes. Could it have been one of the worst moments in this show's history? Yes.
Likely.
And those are the ones you want to avoid. Because some disastrous moments are not funny, and that could have been one of them.
You just don't want to be disrespectful, you know? I mean, at the end of the day, it's...
I think that we would have run the risk of being ripped more than, oh, that was so funny that you got the senator to play flinch ball. The upside, I guess, as the morning was progressing, I think we all started convincing ourselves, you know what, now that we're seeing the senator physically here, maybe that's not the best thing to expect him to watch or participate in.
DP also threw out the idea of calling Sarah Palin, and the senator actually tried her on the phone, but she didn't answer. Fritzy, how great would that have been, and were you hoping to hear her voice?
That would have been amazing. I was so disappointed. I didn't share it at the time. I kept it to myself, but now that we're discussing it that you've asked, I was really hoping. Once it got to like the fourth ring or end of the third ring, I'm like, oh, it's going to go to voicemail. She's not picking up. But if she would have answered the phone, who knows what the exchange would have been like.
Would you have taken credit for the booking if she got there?
No, that I shouldn't.
Would the front row guys have ripped McCain if the connection was bad?
Oh,
that's
I would not have taken credit, and the front row guys would not have said a word.
I thought it was interesting, actually, that she hadn't set her voicemail up yet.
Yeah.
It did eventually get to, you know, this customer has not set up their voicemail just yet. I thought that was interesting.
I wanted her to answer so that Dan could put Seaton on the spot and say, "Hey, don't you do a Sarah Palin impersonation?" That would have been hysterical.
Do you think it might have been a fake number? I used to, when I was out on the bar scene as a single man, women would hand me fake numbers. Maybe John McCain was just like dialing random numbers. Like, maybe he was fooling us.
You're just calling him a crazy old man doing wacky stuff. He's a brilliant man. There's more box score on the way. Charles Barkley speaks his mind, and we'll see if horse racing is the Danettes' forte. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the box score. Our good friend Charles Barkley joined the show today and said if anyone in the Sterling family was still in charge of the Clippers next season, no black players would play for them. McLovin, is Sir Charles the most quotable guest on the show, and does he make your job easier for the website?
Oh, you have no idea. He also speaks very clearly and slowly. I know the exact pace of every quotable guest, and there's some guys who I'm just like, I'm just like, I give up.
Who's the fastest talker?
Well, the guest, I mean, Mannix is the king.
Who did we have on the other day who was Bomani Jones?
Yeah, Bomani Jones.
He was tough.
Great word count.
Manixian.
Yeah. I actually was transcribing Amari Stoudemire the other day. He was a very slow speaker, and he was very good.
Well, Charles is no...
I don't think that means anything.
Okay, we'll keep it slow. Charles is no stranger to gambling, which is why he might have his eye on the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. Paul, you're a TV hog. Is this an event you'll make plans to see?
I always do, and I'm kind of producer-ish about it. I find out when the exact start time is, and I tune in about a minute and a half beforehand, and then I tune out about a minute and a half. No, I do watch a lot of it. I'm actually going to a Kentucky Derby party tomorrow, so this may have been a test drive outfit. I'm not saying I'm wearing the same thing, but it's in the same vein.
All right, and maybe pop the blue blazer on there like you were talking about. There's never a shortage of interesting names when it comes to horse racing. So let's see if anyone of you guys know your Derby history. I'll give you a name, and you tell me whether that's a horse that was a past winner of the big race or not. If you get the right answer, you'll hear this. And if you get it wrong, you'll hear this. Fritzy, oh. They're in the gates. Okay, Fritzy, let's begin with you. Our first horse is Marmaduke. Hay or nay?
Marmaduke, I'm going to say nay to Marmaduke. That sounds like a cartoon dog comic strip.
You're absolutely right. It is correct. Seaton, you're up. Is Thunder Gulch a past champion? Hay or nay?
Yeah, Thunder Gulch, absolutely past champion. I want to say it was the 1936 Derby, won by a nose.
Answering horse vernacular?
Hey.
We're going to do hay or nay.
McLovin, I don't know, Lil E.T., is that for real? Hay or nay?
Lil E.T.? I don't think that won the Derby. I'm going to go nay.
I'm sorry, it was a hay. Paulie, our next horse.
Nay.
Dabble in Dookie, hay or nay?
Oh my God.
Tough one here, Broccoli. I'll say nay.
Correct. Seaton, back to you. Look out, world. Did he win the Derby, hay or nay?
Oh, boy. I'm going to go nay.
You are correct. It was a nay. McLovin, you're familiar with Crop Dustin in the back row. Did Dust Commander win the roses? Hay or nay?
I'll say nay.
I'm sorry, you were wrong. It was a hay. Paulie, our next supposed horse is Forward Pass. Hay or nay?
Forward Pass?
Forward Pass.
It sounds like a, oh, I'm going to say nay.
Sorry, it was a hay. And finally, Fritzy, is this a real horse? And I hope I'm pronouncing this horse's name correct. I Shat the Barn. Hay or nay?
As much as I'd love for that to be an actual horse, I'm going to go nay on that.
Correct, it was nay.
Did you say Shat?
Oh, Fritzy and Seaton both got 2 right. Congratulations, guys. Hey, coming up, we'll see if the Danettes can tell us what happened on their own show this week. Come on back. Welcome back to the Box Score. I'm sure you guys are glad it's Friday. Let's take a look back on the week that was and see how much information you were able to retain. It's a spinoff of the ever-popular Know Your Row. Time for...
Know Your
Show? What?
I'll ask you about something that happened on the show this week. You give me the correct answer. Remember, Row Buddies can share answers, and there are no steals. Let's begin. Our first question goes to the back row. On Wednesday's show, Amari Stoudemire said he went to the Yankees game recently to see a friend of his play. Who was it?
CC and Cano, so either would be acceptable. Let's go with CC Sabathia.
Yeah, it's safer. CC.
Was it CC Sabathia?
Is it because Robinson Cano was back in town, or you just went to the Yankee game?
Well, I went because my guy, CC Sabathia, was pitching.
Oh, okay.
And then on top of that, Cano was in town, so it worked out.
CC he's skinnier than you, isn't he?
Almost.
Man.
Correct. Let's go to the front row. Which guest said the following on Tuesday's show regarding the Donald Sterling saga? This is a life-changing moment. This is bigger than the game.
That's where I'm going.
Reggie Miller?
Was it Reggie Miller?
You were great at compartmentalizing. Once you got on the court, you got in the moment. But this is something different.
Yeah.
You know, you could have...
This is a life-changing moment. This is not a game-to-game adjustment. This is bigger than the game.
Correct. Back row, you're up. Dan couldn't recall Rich Eisen's story that they once tried out a game show at ESPN. What was the game show called?
He was talking about the game show they tried. I believe it was a Sports Jeopardy kind of thing.
Oh, well, the exact name of it.
I think we have to go Jeopardy.
And I definitely know it wasn't Jeopardy. It was like a 2 or 3 word answer. Oof. on.
Yeah, I remember everything about it except
I
the
know.
name. Let's go Jeopardy. Sports Jeopardy.
Sports Cubicle Jeopardy.
Was it Sports Cubicle Jeopardy?
Do you remember the skit that I once wrote for a sports center that we did together, where Bill Pito played the host of What Do You Have? And you and I...
No, I do not.
Yes, you do.
I do not.
Sorry, you were wrong. Front row, what
That's a tough
curse
question,
word
man.
did David Spade say on Wednesday's show?
Shit.
Shit.
Was it shit?
This was the writer portion of that.
Yeah, they wanted me to write for Dana, and just to try to get a sketch that didn't reek of dog shit at read-through.
Wait.
Can I not say that?
No, this isn't the Stern Show.
Oh, that's right.
Correct. The judges will also accept dog shit.
Great, because I was worried, because dog is technically an okay word.
Right.
It's two separate
I wouldn't have
words.
censored the dog.
Right.
Well, you might have said dog shit or horse shit. Either one works in this situation. Back row, Dan told us a story about Josh Elliott coming up to him in New Orleans one night and telling him what?
I'm going to be somebody. He said, basically, I'm going to be somebody.
Was it?
Exact
I'm going to
quote?
be somebody.
Do you remember this at Pat O'Brien's?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. Josh is there. You're right.
2001.
You're writing for Sports Illustrated at the time.
Yep.
And you say to me, I'm going to be a big deal. And I went,
Big deal.
what an arrogant...
Sorry we accepted McLovin's answer. You are wrong. Front row's turn. You guys played a quick game of Jeopardy on Thursday's show. What was the answer to the question Dan asked you?
Who are the Miami Hurricanes?
Was it, who are the Miami Hurricanes?
This school has the most former players who played in the NFL last season. McLovin.
What is Miami? No, Florida.
No. The answer is, who are the Miami Hurricanes?
Back row. Eddie Olczyk told Dan he once won $500,000 on a horse race. Can you name the horse track?
Hollywood Park.
Nice.
Was it Hollywood Park?
I was lucky enough to hit a pick six about, I think it's going on almost 4 years ago at Hollywood Park for a half a schmil.
For a what?
For a half a schmil.
500,000?
Yes.
Oh.
You nailed it. Half a schmil for you guys. Front row, where is Amari Stoudemire's basketball camp this summer?
Tel Aviv.
Was it Tel Aviv?
Cooking with Amari, 100 easy recipes. He's actually going to cook for us today. You also have a basketball camp in Tel Aviv, Israel. That'll be July 27th through the 31st. Academy at amaristoudemire.com.
Good job, front row. Mazel. Back row on Monday's show, who did Mark Jackson say gave him the most problems defensively when he played in the NBA?
Talked about dunking amidst Scottie Pippen. Who gave him the most?
That's Frizzy's think face, by the way.
I can't think of it.
He was talking about Pippen. Dan asked him about. Might as well guess Scottie Pippen.
We're gonna go Pippen.
Was it Pippen?
Was there, somebody who just owned you defensively, or they got your shot a lot?
No, I'll tell you that, defensively, the guy that, gave me the most problems, that was obviously, Scotty, 6'7", long, athletic, strong.
Bingo. And finally, front row, Dan told Josh Elliott that he finds these two women funny and sexy. Name one of them.
Sarah Silverman and... Oh, I guess we don't need the other one.
Okay.
Sarah Silverman
Was it Sarah Silverman?
Else.
There you go. You're ready to go.
I know
Flinch
you wanted me to be like Leslie Mann. I know you did.
I did want Leslie
Who,
Mann.
by the way, brilliant. Can we agree there?
I think
Brilliant.
she's sexy as can be.
Yeah. I'm almost Leslie Mann.
I like funny women, good-looking women. Like Sarah Silverman, I think, is hot.
Congratulations, guys. I believe the front row wins 5-3. Stay right there. We'll be back to wrap things up here in the box score as we take a look back at a classic back and forth with DP and David Stern. Don't move. Welcome back to the box score, guys. I've thrown some burgers on the grill. It's almost time for lunch. The boss looked back at last night's incident between the Pacers and the Hawks. McLovin, what were your poll choices again regarding Paul George leaving the bench?
Paul George won't be suspended, rightfully so. Paul George will be suspended, rightfully so. Paul George won't be suspended, wrongfully so. Paul George will be...
Easy for you to say.
Will be suspended, wrongfully so.
Seton, you played back a previous conversation Dan and former NBA Commissioner David Stern had about a similar incident. You and DP reenacted it a while back, and we decided to bring it back in this box score remix.
Commissioner, come on.
No, help me out. Help me out.
I know, but what I'm saying is you have a great series, marquee series. Do you want it to be decided?
No, you're right. You're right.
Wait, can you be fair to this situation?
Right. In
as
other
the
words,
commissioner?
right. No, therefore, so depending upon
what will put the most fans in the seats watching our games
and the most money in our pockets, we should
bend the rules. Okay.
I'll put that as the second point.
Commissioner.
Let me write
that down.
Commissioner, the point is this.
Point
This series is going to be decided on Robert Ory's hip check with Steve Nash, and you sit down.
You know, I'm going to wrestle with you.
I'm going to wrestle with you. You
better
stop
that. It's not being decided by that. It's being decided because
two Phoenix
Suns who
knew about the rule and
forgot about it,
couldn't
control themselves,
and didn't have coaches
that can control them.
And don't you forget
it. I couldn't tell the difference. I thought you guys said it was a remix. That just sounded like the commissioner to me.
Kind of a Michael Rappaport.
I thought it was a little John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, I may have had an extra little flair on there, but you know, I mean, there's certain nuances that you have to get when doing an impression. I think I nailed them.
I think you nailed it. Speaking of sweating, I think we're going to get the meat sweats on. Fritzy,
that.
who's on tomorrow? Or who's on next week?
J.J. Watt, Houston Texans defensive end, and Reggie Miller will be with us on Monday. Looking ahead to later in the week, Mike Mayock's going to join us in the New York studios on Thursday, as will Rich Eisen. Khalil Mack also Thursday, so we're already putting together some stuff for draft.
By the way, Brock, are those burgers from a box? Embarrassing.
There we go. Come on, it's time to eat, guys. Thanks for watching the box score. Set your DVR or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern only on Audience Channel 239 right here in DirecTV. I'll eat this thing. Oh.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer. My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!